Frankie, come here. Come here.
Go, Frankie. Go, 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 go.
What's up, guys? Frankie, come here. Come here. All right, here we are, Frankie. We're going to talk about the biggest mistake with fat loss. Now, this is more like the most common mistake with fat loss. And Frankie does not have this problem. Does that give you guys a hint? Well, Frankie eats basically however much he wants to eat in not limited amounts unless I give him limited amounts, right? So listen up. The most common mistake that people make is that they start their calories too low. So they over diet. When you over diet, you start yourself from a very low calorie count and eventually you stall out. So when you stall out, you have no choice but to increase your cardio or to decrease your calories even further. So you have to start your calories as high as possible and still make the progress that you're trying to make. When you see somebody that lost 50 pounds in 2 months or 3 months, that's not something that I look at and I admire. I mean, to some extent it is, right? Because it's a lot of work and it took a lot to get there. So that is admirable. But it's something that I know is going to be difficult for the person down the road. So if you guys know the show, The Biggest Loser, very popular show on TV, and it's about who can lose the most weight in that time period. So what people don't really know is that most of the people, when they get off the show from doing these hardcore crash diets and high amounts of cardio, is that more than 50% of them not only gain the weight back, but they gain more weight than they actually started with. Okay, so it's actually more than half of them will gain the weight back. Okay, now why is that? Well, they're under a specific structure led by the team at the TV show, and it's very aggressive, it's very strict, and they do a ton of cardio and they eat very low calories. So you're bound to lose weight and you're bound to lose fat in that process. But you got to think what's going to be realistic for the long term. So what am I going to be able to do and maintain doing in order to get down to whatever low body fat percentage that you want to get down to? So instead of thinking people love these 8-week cuts, 8-week shreds, 12-week fat loss, you guys got to think further. You got to think, where am I going to be in a year? And in order to be in a healthy spot in 1 year, you have to diet progressively. So start your calories as high as possible, start your cardio as low as possible. And if you still end up losing weight, you still end up losing fat, then don't change it. Why don't you change it when you stop and you hit a plateau? That's your opportunity to actually ramp up the cardio, take some calories out. So the most common mistake is that people over diet. They start their calories too low from the very beginning, and they get to a position where they can't bring it lower without feeling terrible, without having a very low quality of life. So you take a girl that's been on 1,000 calories a day, doing an hour of cardio a day, and she stops losing fat. You now have an option to lower it to 700 calories a day or increase it to an hour and a half of cardio a day. And most people, they don't have that kind of time, that kind of energy, and they don't want to feel miserable like they're starving. So most people are not going to hit that point. But regardless, people are going to plateau. You're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to stall out. And if you leave yourself some wiggle room with your calories, you can continue losing fat on a long-term basis. And it will actually minimize your cravings and minimize your hunger pains, down the road. So many people have been in that phase of their diet where they just get that hunger at night and they want to eat something sweet. That's mainly just through, either too much cardio or too low calories. So there's appropriate things to do at that point, which I do as a coach. I implement these different strategies. and see if they work, see if they don't, and hopefully that's a learning experience for the person. That's the most important part. But guys, whenever you start dieting, if you try to do it on your own, don't just eat less, don't fast, track your calories and see how much you're eating. Because if it is too low, it's not going to be sustainable and it's going to be a painful road. Most often I see people will diet for a month and they'll lose a lot of weight and they can't handle the cravings. They are thinking about food all the time, and that's when they slip up and they cannot continue to get to their goal. So take it one step at a time, lower your calories gradually. I always start everybody with 3 to 5 days of cardio. I tend to lean towards 3, depending on the person. I try to lean towards 20 minutes. I start at 20 minutes, and some people might be at 30 minutes. Some people are eventually go up to 40. Everyone is different, but the point is, you can actually lose fat and you can lose weight without even doing cardio. The most important part about fat loss is the nutrition. So if you can just do the nutrition part and make sure that you're in a calorie deficit, you're taking in less calories than you need, and you're training, right? Then the calories will go somewhere towards the muscle. Eventually, if you add cardio to that mix, you'll lose more, right? Or you'll continue losing if you hit a stalling point. So just remember, start your calories as high as possible, start your cardio as low as possible, and make the process slow, okay? All right. Now, the chat's not working right now for whatever reason on my end, so if you guys have any particular questions, you can always message me through Instagram, at Schmucky, and you can message me through YouTube. Now, for Cash or Trash, this is one of my favorite things for Cash or Trash. It's Laughing Cow cream cheese, and it's only got 1.5 grams of fat, 2 grams of protein. It's almost nothing, and tastes really good. Real easy snack. You can put on a rice cake. You can put on a bagel, whatever is in your plan, or if you don't have a particular plan, it's an easy snack. It's literally 30 calories for one wedge, and most of that is protein. It's got 1 carb, okay? So love this. There's different flavors. Some of them have more fat than others, so just double check the fat content. This is the light. There's a cheddar and a pepper jack that also have 1 to 2 grams of fat. All right. One of my top cash foods. These are Quest protein chips. They make nacho cheese, chili lime. They make them in ranch. This is like eating chicken breast as far as macros go. It's 18 grams of protein. It's got 6 grams of fat. It's a little bit higher than chicken breast. And it's got 5 grams of carbs. Okay, so it's a great snack to have if you don't feel like eating a whole meal. Doesn't go bad. You can order it online on Amazon. I don't know if they'll ship it right now. And you can also order it. You can buy it at Nutrition Palace. Okay, so highly recommend these, guys. This is a vegetarian cash item. These are great for quarantine. If you don't feel like eating a whole meal again, this is something tasty that is a little bit more interesting than chicken or fish sometimes. So, here, this is a Santa Cruz burrito. So this brand, Sweet Earth, they make all kinds of vegetarian burritos that are high protein. So there's a few flavors that are high in protein and some flavors aren't as high. This one is 20 grams of protein. It's got 60 grams of carbs. 11 grams of that is fiber. And it's got 13 grams of fat. So it is not low carb or anything like that. It is not low fat, but it is a good meal replacement, and it's high in protein, and it's vegetarian. This is one of the flavors I like. So Santa Cruz burrito, anything by Sweet Earth burritos, really, really good. I don't like a ton of burritos, so those I always keep rebuying. Okay, with everything being out at the stores, there's a lot of lack of supply. I highly recommend you guys go to Safeway. This is almost always there. Okay, this is swai. It's a white fish. It's similar to tilapia. I think it's better than tilapia because it's softer. It doesn't have a fishy taste. It's not like cod where, it stinks up the whole house and it's super fishy tasting, chewy, kind of hard to eat if you're eating a lot of it. It melts like butter. It doesn't have much taste. So whatever you add to it, will flavor it. Now, it does have a lot of sodium naturally. They do add some sodium to preserve it, but it's got 14 grams of protein and 1 gram of fat. So compared to tilapia, you can eat more of this and get less calories, ounce per ounce. So eating this, you could eat like 8.5 ounces of swai versus maybe 7 ounces of tilapia, and it would be equivalent of protein. So if you like a lot of volume, it's also better. If you compare with other white fish like mahi-mahi, let's see, cod, So this is a cash item. I love the flavor. It's almost in stock, almost always in stock at Safeway. Right now, Safeway, you can only buy 2 of these at a time. It's $6. So $6, it's a little bit higher than tilapia would be because it's a smaller bag also. But anyways, it's definitely worth picking up if you've never tried swai. Pick it up, and if you like it, let me know. And yeah. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. And I hope you pick up some of these items. And Frankie, he just kind of eats. If he really likes something, it's cash for him. He will eat unlimited amounts of it. If it's trash, he will not touch it. So, let's not be like Frankie exactly, and let's actually monitor our food, okay? Track your food. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and I will catch you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in.